Football with friends is fun as hell. My name is Alex Dunlap here with you on Orange Bloods Live. Cody Carpentier with me as always on a big Monday coming off of a big recruiting weekend for the Texas Elite Camp. Cody, I think Jason said in our Teams chat, our Microsoft Teams chat, that there were 21 offers, and that was just to the ones that he had counted, of the people that he had spoken to kind of coming out of the facility there. So a lot of stuff going out. Of the 21 offers that he referenced, though, it looks like no 2026 stuff. This was all 2027, 2028. Of course, that was kind of the point of the camp. One of the more important players there, one of the more high profile players there, was son of Philip Rivers, Gunner Rivers, the 2027 quarterback out of Fairhope, Alabama. Your thoughts?
Kid looks good. I saw him the first time. I guess I didn't realize how old Gunner Rivers was until about a couple of weeks ago. I've said it in the show. I consume John Gruden's content more than anybody else right now. Him and McShay, and he had a video go up. I think it was 3-4 weeks ago. I sent it over to you, and he had I'm gonna go stop by Philip Rivers' house, and he went and saw Philip. And
it's a pretty awesome house.
He's got 17 kids or something like this. He's got a turf field in his yard. And Gunner, he goes, Gunner walks out and he goes, "This is Gunner." And he's like, he puts Gunner through like the ringer on routes that he likes to throw, how he likes his cadence, kind of that typical thing that Gruden does in his shows. And I was like, oh, this kid's a 2027 kid. I thought he was like 2029 for some reason. And so that I started looking at him. I was like, well, Texas could potentially have keen on this. Obviously, NC State's going to have a conversation here. Philip Rivers, alma mater, NC State. Everyone on X and the NC State circles believes that's the angle there. He also had a visit at Auburn back in April. And I don't know, man. If you want to just jump into watching him, I thought I got some thoughts on Gunner Rivers and how he could, one, potentially fit into a Texas quarterback room, two, what it would mean, and three, here's the thought. Here's my words right here. Mature, poised, touch,
pocket presence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Way mature beyond his years. He's not, I mean, the tape we got to watch this last year, the sophomore film where he had almost 4,000 yards passing, 36 touchdowns, 6 picks.
Isn't it cool how his head coach on his huddle gives us the all 22?
Oh, one of my notes right here at the bottom. I said, this, where did I go? Right here. This film is awesome. Elite all 22.
Yeah, no,
elite.
Well, hey, that's what happens whenever Philip Rivers is the coach of the team, right? It's like he probably cares, that's the way he grinds the film, dude. He puts together that huddle reel. He knows which ones to put on there. But I think the way that Gunner Rivers can manipulate the pocket, his like you said, his feel. It's almost like you don't have to have the killer arm talent that he has, and he doesn't throw like his he has.
It's a little bit
Philip.
A little bit the same.
Nothing is. No, it's not.
But the release angle is it's higher, but it's a little bit the same like whip torque.
Yeah, I get it, but it's nothing south of a 3/4 release, right? I mean, we can agree to that, right?
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is you can see it. You can still see Philip in there, but it's definitely not the full blown.
Yeah. Yeah, the old Philip, the new Philip, the head coach carrying around a baby. I can't do so. They have 10 kids, and Gunner might be the oldest because that kid he was carrying around when he was talking to Gruden was like a tiny infant. That kid can't be more than 1.5, 2 years old. So he and his wife have they've gotten to work creating a whole clan there. And yeah, good looking player. Fairhope, Alabama, though, and Cody, you and I know Fairhope, Alabama well. It's right across the Mobile Bay from Mobile. Our great sponsor Andy Ludicky from MyPerfectFranchise.net lives there. I'm sure Philip Rivers is a member of that country club, the Grand, that we always go to when we're there in Fairhope. It's an awesome town, and I would think I would think that is look. I think if you move to Fairhope, Alabama, you're probably going to want to stay there. It's a really awesome place to live, right? So, in order to be close to his family, I wonder
What's he
if
gonna
there's
go? Southern Alabama?
no. I just wonder if he's going to go to Alabama or Auburn or something like this, right? He's not gonna go across the bay to go to USA for sure.
But I mean, like, here's the thought I was going through too. It's like the conversation right now. He went to Auburn in April 1st for a visit, and if you like read some, he doesn't put. There's not a lot out there. Jason had a couple of words from the kid,
It's
but
kind of like the Arch Manning recruitment where you don't get much out of the guy.
you don't need to. Well, you want to, but he doesn't need you to. He doesn't need you to pop his name up because he's just gonna be him. He doesn't have to be on social media, things of that nature, just like Arch. Um, but it's like Auburn, the NC State people are like, man, if NC State doesn't get him, the coach needs to get fired if they don't get him to NC State. But I'm like, man, if he's gonna go somewhere, if he's gonna travel across the country to go to a school, I feel like he's gonna not travel to Raleigh, North Carolina, to go to college. He's gonna go to a place like Texas or something. So, um, you think I mean, I think he's a full blown take. Like he's a top 5 kid in
Oh,
the class.
dude, I think he's better.
Better than Peyton Houston?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I didn't want to say it so flippantly because it's something I hadn't considered until it just popped in my brain just this instant.
Well, they're back to back in the rivals rankings right now.
But I think I like him better. Peyton Houston's kind of small, dude. What does Rivals have him listed at?
Peyton Houston's listed 6 foot 195. Gunnar Rivers 6'2", 175. And the one thing you can say about Gunnar Rivers is that frame. We know how big Phillip is, but that frame that Gunnar has right now is
When
it's a
he's
great
standing
body.
next to his dad, he doesn't look like he's just 6'2", because Philip Rivers is what, 6'5"?
Yeah,
How tall is Philip Rivers?
that's
Philip
a good question.
Philip
Probably should have known
Rivers.
that off the rip. 6'5", 228.
Yeah. So I mean, he's shorter than his dad, but he's only like 15 or 16. You
Yeah.
still grow after that. I don't remember exactly how growing up went as far as your height, but it felt like I'm taller,
Well,
taller.
my brother's 15, right? He just turned 15 a month ago, and he's gained 3 inches since Christmas. So
Okay. So yeah, you're still growing at 15.
15, 16. Yeah, you're prime. You're in
Yeah.
the prime
So
of
so yeah, I mean, he's gonna get bigger. Um, and who knows? Peyton Houston could get bigger, but if he's that six, I look at that guy and I see more like a Russell Wilson type of, you know what I mean? That's the way it kind of looks to me.
when you watch Peyton Houston, you're saying.
Yeah, Peyton Houston. It's more of like his. I kind of look at it and I'm like, well, that's a good quarterback, but height could be an issue. It's I'm not saying it definitely will, but it could be whenever you look at him. And I'm not saying that he's not going to be great. I'm not saying anything like that. But just from a pure size perspective, you go with Rivers, and I guess I can't help it. Just to say, um, it was like with Arch when I just watched it. I loved the film. I didn't understand how people said that the film was underwhelming from what's his high school, Isidore Newman High School, something like that. Whatever it was.
Arch is Newman, yeah.
Yeah. When I watched, it's Saint Michael and Fairhope that Gunnar Rivers plays for. But whenever I watched the Arch Manning stuff, I realized as I was watching it that I liked the film and stuff like that. But you can't not let it creep into your head that's the nephew of the Mannings. You know what I mean? You can't not let it creep into your head that Gunnar Rivers is Philip Rivers' kid. You can't do it. It's just because and here's the thing. I don't think that in your evaluation, it's right to say you shouldn't. You should put it. You should just make it just random guy wearing a high school football jersey and just evaluate him based on the talent and the attributes and not factor in the stuff because like you talked earlier about you listen to a lot of McShay. The first thing that McShay does when I was reading his report today that he sent to the premium subscribers about Lenora Sellers about it's just the same thing. It's as he goes through a summer scouting checklist, the first thing that he always talks about is mental makeup. And like for mental makeup, you kind of take it into account. His dad's his coach. John Gruden comes over there. He talks to them. These guys are sitting there talking ball. He's like, he's saying like, "What's your favorite route concept?" And he tells him whatever it was, and like he looks over at Gruden, and he's like, "Oh, that's like a stick and it's like a stick and a dagger concept or whatever." And the kid's like, "Yeah." He sits and talks with his dad about this all day long. You know what I mean? And I think that being steeped in that growing up, it's like how can you not let something like that affect your evaluation of the guy? So I look at it and I say, man, I said coming out of that Elite 11 camp where I saw Peyton Houston, and after watching his film and everything like that, I was like, well, as far as the 2027 kids who are here with this thing, Diabell was clearly the best 2026. But out of the 2027, it was Peyton Houston and it was Ziegler,
Ziegler. Yep.
Malachi Ziegler, and I I was telling Jason at that camp, I'm like, dude, if you put a gun to my head, man, I think I want Ziegler more than Houston. So I think by proxy, I would is Gunnar Rivers ranked ahead of Malachi Ziegler? I don't have
So
the
on
rankings.
on on Rivals, Houston is 6, Rivers is 7, Ziegler is 9. On 247, just for reference for height weight, Gunnar Rivers is 6'2", 175 on Rivals, and on 3. On 247, he's 6'3 and a half, 205. And he's a QB2 over there.
Rivers is QB2 for 24/7.
Yep.
Do you happen to know what he is on 3?
I just had it up. He's listed at 175 on there for sure. As far as the quarterback rankings go, he's QB7.
So 24/7 is way ahead of everybody else on him.
Yeah. The other kid in that class is Colton Nussmeier. That's Garrett Nussmeier's brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, gosh, I guess we're going to see
I
what
don't think he's quite to that level though, but they do have him ranked right there.
do you think so? So Rivals doesn't have Gunnar Rivers with an offer from Texas. Do you think that I think he might have one?
I'm not. This is the thing too. Like we for guys like this, unless someone asks, or I don't know how it gets out there. Like you have to have I don't know how you have a conversation with him. You have to have a source. His rival site only has 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 offers showing.
He's got more than 9 offers.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. He has more than 9 offers. The North Carolina State one was put in September of last year. You had a boatload of them put in this spring, including Auburn and stuff in February. And it's like everything's just come in the last couple of months. So maybe there's nobody out there that really has a great inside source conversation. Like, Texas has definitely been in the Peyton Houston conversation, predominantly heavily into that. It's like, it's Texas and Oklahoma. Maybe no one's asked a question. He doesn't have social media. He doesn't have a Twitter to go post like, got my offer today, like the 21 other guys did.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I would just go under the premise that he's got an offer. I would go under the premise that he has an offer, unless he didn't look good today. But I don't know. How does a Rivers 20? I mean, I guess Peyton Houston was the same conversation. Peyton Houston's probably going to be their quarterback. It looks like that's been the conversation of late. It's like if they get him, that's their guy. But when you look at the quarterback room right now, like I want Rivers. I guess I'm just trying to understand like what the outlook would be at the quarterback position for the next 6, 7 years with their Gunnar Rivers included.
Strong to quite strong.
So you'd have like Arch in 2025 and 26, Lacey for a year.
Yeah, like I don't know, just like trying to think of some of these like does Stafford have a kid yet that's starting to be old? It's like you can just start it. You know what I mean? You could just start you got to think about the guys that are getting close to retirement age, man. Do they have kids who are starting to be like 12, 13 years old? Maybe in a few years you can get some kind of Stafford kid or something like that. Like only halfway kidding, I guess. But the
Arch, Lacey, Bell, Rivers. That's the next 6 years.
Arch, 1 year of Lacey.
1 year of Lacey, 1 year of Bell, and then Rivers.
Well, that's gonna. I don't think it's possible that it could go like that.
You don't think it's possible?
No, I find it highly unlikely that there would be two players that each sit for 2 seasons that only play 1 season and then go pro. That's not a super duper common route to the NFL.
Sit for 2 years, play 1.
Yeah, because that's what you'd be saying for Lacey, right?
Yeah, he's
Lacey would
sitting
go
this year, sitting next year,
arch,
play.
plays in 2027, goes what
Yep.
2027? No, 2027, then goes pro, and then you have
In
20,
this
2027. No, because then Diabell's class is 2026, so he would go sit 2026, sit 2027, play 2028, go pro. 2027, you would have Gunner having to sit for 2 years, and
All
then
right, here's how it's gonna go. Arch, Bell, Rivers.
what is KJ Lacey's going to be playing for SMU or something?
KJ Lacey's gonna go play for SMU and replace Kevin Jennings next year.
Okay, all right. I'm
I'm just reporting the news.
putting
But
it out there, dude. I'm not putting it out.
what was your favorite thing about Rivers?
You're just reporting the news.
What was your one favorite takeaway from watching Rivers?
Pocket presence, but pure arm talent.
Pure arm talent, yeah. I was gonna say touch. Even though the accuracy isn't always perfect, like he had 63% the last 2 years, consistency there. The touch on some of the out routes, the corners, the pylon balls, the touch on some footballs, moving against the grain. I'd just say touch in different places, being different arm angles, different things of that situation where it's just like high school kids don't make that throw. Senior high school kids that play for multiple years don't make that throw. And this kid's a sophomore in high school making that throw. I think it's touch. So pocket presence and touch, two pretty great traits to have at a high level at this age in the process.
Thanks so much to our great sponsors, Texas Beef Traders. Make sure and go check them out off of Loman's Crossing and 620 right there in the heart of Lakeway. Get 10% off when you mention that you heard about Texas Beef Traders here on Football with Friends. Of course, also our good friends over at Poncho Outdoors. We can't thank them enough for being such great sponsors here on the channel. Make sure and go check them out. They have they have the Father's Day Big Daddy deal going on right now where you can get 2 free shirts and or 2 free hats, or like a shirt and a hat if you buy 2 shirts for Father's Day. So go do something nice for your dad or for the dads in your life, and get that done. And of course, make sure to go see our great friends over at Specs.
Shop Specs! 60 years in the Lone Star State, a one-stop shop so you're never late. Price is so low that you want to know
Which way to Specs?
Come on, let's go.
Specs, fine spirits and finer foods. World-class service, that's all about you. Shop Specs!
It's how we do. A huge selection since 62.
Shop Specs!
Low priced, amazing. Here's to you.
Now, please like the show, subscribe to the channel. If you want to send the show to one of your friends, we would certainly appreciate that. Love you guys, man. God bless y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow. All right. For Cody, I'm Alex. We're done.